With his infectious personality, sharp wit and general all-round good guy nature, Neil Thoms is a chef. Always the first to pass on his knowledge and the champion of all things British, he's made his mark in Hong Kong, initially at M at the Fringe and then at Alfie's by Key. As the executive chef of the recently opened Beef&Liberty in Wan Chai, he's grinding out one of Hong Kong's best burgers. Neil, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Just a correction there. Hong Kong's best burger. But everything else there, you've nailed it. Nailed me.
I'm not allowed to say Hong Kong. You do Hong Kong's best burger. We might want to sell advertising at some time.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll
How are you doing?
reassess it. I'm good. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
You're welcome. Tell us a little bit about you, how you started cooking and how you got to
well, funnily enough, I actually started in Hong Kong. About 1994, I came here. I wanted to get into cooking. I'd always cook for my family, and my mum was not a particularly great chef, so I'd always Neilify things.
Neilify?
Yeah, Neilify.
Is that a verb?
It is now.
You've been Neilified.
Just, I'll get it on Facebook, everyone likes it, and then the Oxford Dictionary will have to pick it up. It's a Neilify.
Excellent.
That's how it works, yeah.
To take something
Twerking
mediocre
last year.
and make it awesome.
Really?
Yeah, so I came in '94. One of my flatmates was a chef, so he helped me on my day off get into a kitchen and do some training there. And through that, the head chef there, his mate worked for M in the Fringe, so I got sort of an apprenticeship in M in the Fringe for 3 months. And yeah, you know, it was a hard time. I probably wasn't the most dedicated sort of apprentice for Michelle, but I can hear her say, "Nah, you're fucking right, mate."
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, she's tough.
Yeah.
And she had a great restaurant, huh?
Yeah.
No, she's an awesome woman, actually. You know, it was a bit silly for maybe not taking as much of that opportunity as I should have. Anyway, I then set up a sandwich company called Butties Galore.
Okay.
You know, so a lot of local market, like, what's a butty? That and then through that, it's a bizarre story. Through that, I ended up getting into TV production because I was delivering to all these TV companies.
So you see the difference is we work for 20 years and get into TV. He was in
Yeah.
for 6 months and he gets straight into TV.
Yeah. So so I had a sandwich. So I started delivering sandwiches to these guys in the production industry, and they asked me did I want to be part of a program that was sort of like a documentary about all these people that were coming to Hong Kong that weren't professionals, they weren't bankers or traders. They were coming and setting up their own businesses. In Liverpool, we'd say, using their entrepreneurial skills. And so I said, yeah. So they filmed me for a couple of days, and at the end of it, they asked me would I like to help out their cameraman. Like going on a one-man shoot, but you know, help and carry stuff and set up lights and stuff. Weirdly, I mean, I don't know. I obviously was showing a keen interest in it.
He's got a face for carrying camera lights.
I do, don't I? And so I started doing that and then got into TV production, which.
And then you moved to Shanghai after that.
Yes,
doing the same
that
thing.
Actually, the company I worked for produced a beer commercial, and that, yeah, the guy Dan Mintz. Who was the director, asked me at the end of the shoot did I want to go out to Shanghai.
And then after Shanghai, you went to...
Well, in Shanghai, actually, I opened a restaurant.
Okay.
That was called Zubar. So that was, in Newsweek magazine, was one of the top 10 bar restaurants in Asia.
And that was late 90s.
That was in 1999, yeah. And then we had issues with the Chinese partner and a bit of sort of naivety at the same time. So that finished up, and then I ended up going to the British Virgin Islands. I did a stage in the Fat Duck.
Which you just got into.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
you know,
Hi, my
as
name
you
is
do.
Neil. You've seen me carrying TV cameras before. Can I come for a stash? As one does.
My brother Michael, he was just here recently. He said to India's mum, my daughter's mum, he said Neil, classic Neil will fall into a bucket of shit and come out smelling of roses, yeah? And I suppose in a way, if I look at my life, I have fallen into things. I've got into things quite where maybe other people will struggle. But anyway, so did the stage. Then my daughter was born I was moving to Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, but my daughter was born in Puerto Rico, in San Juan. And we went back to Tortola. I ended up sort of befriending this lady, Naomi, who had a beach hut, and you know, made a really informal sort of relationship with her to open a Sunday brunch club, Saturday Sunday brunch club. But her niece or her nephew's girlfriend was getting married.
It's like Dallas for
I'm
restaurants.
telling you, man, they were getting married, and so you know I ended up like putting loads of time and effort into doing this up, making tables, benches, you know, painting the whole place. They had their wedding, which was lovely, and then we did the brunch club, me and Bronwyn, and next day it was great. It was a huge success. Loads of all the, you know, it was packed out on the beach. It was like one of the guys there, Al, who is a sort of a singing chef, who is part of the place called The Last Resort, because it literally is the last resort.
I think that pretty much is though.
Yeah, but you know, he said it was a great combination of like New York and sort of beach
bar.
You know, yeah. So yeah, that really took off. And then I went back the next day, and the guys decided to completely change the deal of what would formally sort of proposed, and so I got sort of screwed, stood up, walked away, never went back there again.
And when did you come back to Hong Kong?
Well, that's actually only the start of the BVI, because then that was such a success that we had a couple of approaches by people saying, do you want to open a restaurant?
As
So then we
people
ended
do.
up opening a restaurant, which was called 15 Abbott Lane. And it was set in this beautiful little boutique hotel that was actually created by these two gay guys that came out in the 70s and started building it. But unfortunately, one of the younger guy ran off with the architect.
It is like Dallas.
Wow.
The guy was heartbroken. He disappeared.
The architect or the guy that stayed behind?
No,
The
the
guy
guy
who
that
got
stayed
left
behind.
behind.
Really the guy with the money. He was like an antiques dealer or something. He went back to New York. He eventually sold the premises, Bougainvillea, to a guy, a doctor, Dr. Tadstall, who was a plastic surgeon, who had actually originally been sent out by the British
Who was
government.
the second cousin of the
No.
other guy from...
He'd been sent out by the British government to look after the sort of the colony, I suppose.
Okay.
And he opened up this plastic surgery in the rooms of the hotel, and then we took over the actual restaurant area to finally make it into a restaurant. And that was great, but it's very seasonal. And then Bronwyn got a job in London, so we had to go to London.
Okay. And Hong Kong.
And then back
You
to
came-
Hong Kong.
You came back.
Yeah, I came back
Okay.
4 years ago.
And you
Born
came
and
back
bred.
for the position at Alfie's?
Oh yeah, head chef in Alfie's by Key, part of the Dunhill Home Store.
Okay. and
Great
how did you land that?
experience. How did I land it?
Yeah, how did you get that job?
Eva Lee, lady I knew from Shanghai, close friend. She was working for Key Club. Originally asked me to find a British chef, and I was so crap at finding a British chef they had to take me.
Oh, wow, I don't believe that. Actually, you did a fantastic job at Alfie's. Alfie's has always been a favourite.
Thank you. No, it was a really, really good time there. And you know, if they'd opened more Alfie's around
Was that
Hong
the
Kong,
plan?
Shanghai, Asia, it would be a progression.
Sure.
I mean, it's a good product. It works. It makes money, and it's got a good name for itself. So why not?
And the move to Beef&Liberty?
That was, you know, I wanted a challenge, and I wanted to. I love the concept of you know, it's a small, concise but quality-driven menu, you know, and that really appealed to me, having something very simple, but made with really good ingredients that, you know, that could wow people. I don't want to be big-headed, but I think it is the best burger in Hong Kong. I do. I mean, you can go to a really, really fancy hotel and get like an Umberto pork burger with truffle this, truffle that, and that's awesome. That's great. But price point, quality of ingredients, environment, delivery, service, I think it's the best.
So what makes a good burger?
Fuck anyone else who sorry.
What makes a good burger? Like, why is it, you know?
Are we not
what is it?
listening? Quality of ingredients?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, the construction, you know.
Well, I mean, we sourced our beef from Tasmania, which is repudiated for having the cleanest air in the world. I think because of the roaring 60s or whatever, they clean the air all the time. The grass-fed thing, so you've got, you know, natural, nat cow eating a natural diet. and we use 4 elements. We use the chuck, the brisket, the hanging tender, which is the muscle that sort of drives the diaphragm. So I believe it is. I could be talking utter crap, but that must work 24/7, yeah? That's
You would
making
think.
the cow breathe, yeah? So, you know.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a really flavourful piece of meat. It also lies in the midst of the offal. So I think
It's got a livery flavour.
yeah, I think it gets
Yeah.
its flavours driven
Yeah.
by the fact that it sits in that area. And we use sirloin fat, which I did an interesting experiment.
Okay.
I took some sirloin fat, I vac packed it, I sous vide'd it for 24 hours, 18 hours, 24 hours, at a very precise temperature, which I'm not going to mention. And awesome, it's like dry aged fat, got that really nutty flavour.
Dry aging
I'd
does my head.
I'd actually done it before in the beef-rye, but with a ribeye, and I noticed that the beef, when you've sous vide'd it, you know, it's 18 hours, 24 hours, really nutty, really flavourful. So I'm now introducing that into our burgers, and it gives it an umami kind of sort of longevity in the flavour. It's like, I don't know, waffle on about wine, but it's like, you know, really lasts a long time in the mouth. It's awesome.
And have you found that being in hospitality, you've managed to be able to balance family life? Because I know that your daughter's a very big part of it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because of the fact that, you know, I have to work over lunch and have to work over dinner. It allows me to be able to take my daughter to school and be there a lot of the time when she's leaving school and have some time with her there. I can only afford the time that I spend with her now because I've got a good team, and the same in Alfie's, and that I could rely on them, you know. But yeah, I think it's always you'd always like to have more.
Sure.
But it's not so crazy bad, you know. It's good. It's more it's Hong Kong and the industry here, the hospitality industry, or just any industry or any lifestyle here is very sort of frenetic.
Work-orientated,
It's
yeah.
work orientated, and then it's like there seems to be no subtle divide between work and sort of pleasure. You know, people work hard and then kind of hit it hard, and that energy that feeds into sort of your behaviour as well. So, and also, it's notorious the chefing world for like having excitable characters that way.
It's been awesome to have you along to come.
It's
and
been
catch us.
lovely being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And
Thank
we'll
you.
probably stop by and have one of Hong Kong's burgers.
Best burgers.
Best burgers.
Hong
with you
Kong's
soon.
Hong Kong's best burger. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very
Thank
much.
you.
And that's the end of our segment. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.